Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. As you guys know, I am doing Bookmas, so this is another Bookmas video. I'm not entirely sure which order they're going in. These are all being pre-filmed, so whichever one day this goes up is whichever Bookmas day this goes up on. But I am so happy that you guys are back, and I am so excited for today's video because we are going to be talking about all of your guys' unpopular book opinions that you guys sent in to me. I asked you guys on Instagram to send me in a bunch of your unpopular book opinions, and oh, wrong way. I also have like my hours old Starbucks that is more than likely watered down, but grab your favorite drink because we're about to go through these. Okay, first unpopular book opinion. Fourth Wing was good, but there's entirely too much hype. That one's pretty controversial. I only say that because I've just seen so many people who have been raving about Fourth Wing so much. One of my best friends, Holly, actually just read the book and she said she read it in 2 days and that she loved it. So this is very interesting to me. I'm reading Fourth Wing this week, so I will have to keep you guys updated on how I feel about Fourth Wing. I hope it lives up to the amount of hype that it's giving, because if it doesn't, it's obviously going to be very disappointing, but I don't know, we'll see. When an author tries to make the female main character a badass but she's just a rude person. This unpopular book opinion honestly reminds me a lot of The Shadows Between Us. I can't even remember who wrote the book, but I cannot stand that book. I DNF'd it. I read it last year, and I DNF'd it last year because I hated the book so much. I feel like the author was trying to make the main character a badass, but you could just really tell that the character not only hated everybody around her, but she was just a hateful person in general, and I cannot stand to read books that have main characters like that, and I don't like it. I love chapters being named instead of just numbers. I also kind of agree with that, but I also don't mind if authors just do numbers. The ones that I really like is when they name the chapter, but they also give it a number so that you know what number chapter that you're on still, so you can keep track. But I do like it when authors name their chapters, because a lot of the time when they name their chapters, it's almost foreshadowing as to what's gonna happen in the chapter, and you're kind of thinking about it when you get to the chapter and you're like, So I don't know, I agree with that partly, a little bit. Series are better than standalones. I agree with this to an extent. I definitely do think series are better just because there's so much content, and I feel like it takes an immense amount of talent to be able to carry out an entire genre of a book over multiple books, like not even just like 3. Like the authors that can make books go on for like 7, 8, 10 plus books, I feel like you have got to be such a good writer to make the story go on that long. So I definitely do enjoy series a lot better. The only thing that I don't really like about it is I always start and have so many open series. So I have a bunch of half-finished series that I like still haven't finished. So I don't know, I love series, but I also wish there were more standalone fantasy books, because I feel like all fantasy books have series in them, and sometimes I want to read a fantasy book but I don't want to commit to an entire series. So I kind of wish there were more standalone fantasy books. If there are any good standalone fantasy books, let me know in the comments, because I will 110% read them. Love Grishaverse, but it is a horrible adaptation to Slavic. Did I say that right? Slavic. I totally butchered that. We're just gonna ignore that. Love Grishaverse, but it is a horrible adaptation from Slavic culture. Like, horrid. Misinformed books suck. I can totally understand why misinformed books can be very upsetting. However, I think it's very important to realize that I know that the whole Grishaverse was inspired by a lot of Russian culture, like Slavic culture and everything. However, I also think it's really important to point out that it's not supposed to be an adaptation of their culture. It's supposed to draw inspiration from the culture. So I definitely do, I know there are some words from the Slavic culture that are used in the Grishaverse books that have a completely different meaning than how it does in real life. But I think it's also really important to realize that, like I said, it's not supposed to be an adaptation. It's not supposed to be 110% correct. It's more supposed to be inspiration. So there are definitely going to be stuff that is not entirely accurate to the culture, but in the book, it's accurate to the book because it's just an inspiration based off of it. I know that the Game of Thrones series Westeros is based off, I think, New England. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know it is based off a different culture, and obviously a lot of the names that are in Game of Thrones aren't accurately represented in the actual culture in real life. But again, it's also important to realize that it's not supposed to be a direct adaptation from the culture. It's only supposed to grab inspiration from it. So I wouldn't even say that it's Okay, we're gonna ignore that if we heard that. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's misinformed because, again, they're fantasy books. They aren't supposed to be accurate. That's my take on it. You can have your take on it. I just wouldn't go as far as saying that it's a misinformed book because it is a fantasy book and it's not supposed to be an adaptation from real culture. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. I judge books by its covers. I also judge a book by its covers because, I'm sorry, if the book cover doesn't look good, 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna look at the back to read the synopsis of it. So, sorry, but I 110% judge a book by its cover. And also, I'm sorry, but the new Magnolia Parks covers, if I didn't have the original Magnolia Parks cover, I 110% would not have picked up the book and read it because, in my opinion, the new book covers look like they give me like old grandma romance cover book vibes, if you get what I'm putting down. It's okay to buy multiple versions of the same book because the covers are different. I will die on this hill because I 110% agree with it. I have a couple books and a couple book series that I have like the same book but just in different cover form. I have all of the Harry Potter books in both paperback and hardback. A lot of them are thrifted, so I didn't spend a ton of money on that series, but my Invisible Life of Addie LaRue book, I have a hardback, and then I also have a softback cover that I just recently bought, and the covers are different, but they're pretty much the same. The only difference is on the paperback version of the Invisible Life. Whoa, I am literally talking so fast. This is why I can't talk fast. This is why I talk slow. So if anybody ever gets annoyed by the fact that I talk slow, it's because whenever I talk fast, I jumble my words together and then it makes absolutely 110% no sense. So anyways, moving on. My hardback cover of the Invisible Life of Addie LaRue doesn't have like a face on the like background of the cover, but the paperback version has like a silhouette / blurred out version of Addie's face. So I have both versions. I also just want both versions because I love paperbacks, but hardbacks look a lot prettier on my bookshelf. So sue me. I don't like Kindle. I need the physical copy. I half agree with this. I love a physical copy of a book. I love holding the physical book in my hand. There's nothing that'll be better than that. But at the same time, I love my Kindle because I also have Kindle Unlimited. I get like tens of thousands of free unlimited books on my Kindle that I love taking advantage of. And also, I don't know why, this might just be a me thing, but for some reason I feel like I get through books on my Kindle 10 times faster than I do with physical books, and I don't know why that is. I feel like it has something to do with my Kindle feels like my phone, and when I scroll on my phone it feels like I'm consuming media and content faster, so maybe that's why I consume my Kindle faster than physical books. I don't know the science behind that, but if somebody does, please let me know. Not wanting to let your friend borrow your favorite book. I completely 110% agree and understand this. Even though I have loaned out some of my favorite books to my friends, I have a rule that if you ruin my book, you buy a new one, because I will not put a ruined favorite book back on my shelf. Also, if it's my favorite book and it's in pristine condition, it better come back in pristine condition. And if it doesn't, I make them pay for it. And if they don't, well then I guess we're not friends anymore. And if anybody thinks that's mean, I'm sorry, but like I pay a lot of money for all of these books, and if somebody thinks that they are going to destroy my book and not pay for it, that is just plain disrespect. It's just disrespectful. I loved Ugly Love. I'm not even gonna say anything about that because we all know how I feel about Ugly Love. I cannot stand that book. I give it 1 star. I wish I DNF'd it. I really wish I DNF'd it so that I did not have to read that horrid piece of literature. And I know that a lot of people, and even I, say, guys, it's just a book, be nice. There are some pieces of literature that just really shouldn't be made, you know? Like step siblings, you know, being in love with each other and having a kid. It should not exist. I also just don't understand why authors continue to write about that trope. It's gross. Can we stop it? Please. Anyways, those are all the unpopular book opinions I have to share with you guys today. I love doing this trend with you guys all the time. I think I did one of these a couple months back and it did pretty well and you guys seem to enjoy it. So if you guys have any more unpopular book opinions that weren't mentioned in this video, be sure to leave them down in the comment section down below. I would love to talk with you guys about more of your unpopular book opinions. I also think this topic is just so interesting and fun to talk about just because we always talk about the good things about books, but we never really talk about, you know, the things that bother us or like things that we don't really like that are really popular. So if you guys have any, leave them down below. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and comment down below. Also, make sure you guys are following me on YouTube and all my other socials. So yeah, I love you guys all so much, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye,
I
guys.
used to take myself out on dates, open my own damn doors, pay for everything on my plate. Sometimes I'd even get the steak, cause I got it like that. Always have my own bag, never needed no man to rely on. Got 2 good shoulders to cry.